Right, hello and welcome to Aaron and Matt's football show. And me and Matt, obviously we're doing Pint Chat podcasts before with Mr. David Bello. David Bello's gone on to bigger and better things, and we're starting the party again with our new podcast, and totally orientated on football this show, but the other parts of our channel will go from very serious subjects to sort of, current affairs to TV reviews. We're going to do the lot.
Plethora of things, yeah.
Planning to do the lot, mate. So, Matt, in this show today, we're going to talk a little bit about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's about time for him to deliver something, isn't it? Really and truly. CR7, has he still got it to come back to the Premier League? And I wouldn't say I'm going to be daft enough to say dominate in the same way as he did when he was like 21 or whatever, but will he have that, or will he give Man United that winning mentality again in the dressing room? And Mikel Arteta's shoddy, awful start to the season at Arsenal. In my lifetime, and I'm sure many football fans' lifetimes, we've never seen it so dire.
No, not since they were in Charlton. Herbert Chapman and all that sort of thing.
I'm sure the Arsenal purists will know what you're talking about with that one. And obviously, we'll finish off the show with talking about Gareth Southgate and obviously life after the, well, I wouldn't say crushing defeat to Italy,
no,
but I would say
devastating.
I ain't got over Euro '96 yet, let alone that game. So we'll be talking about that as well. But so you're looking forward to the new channel and the new journey?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
And what are you thinking of the new environment?
I think it's never looked better, quite frankly. And it's had a few guises, but I would say this is definitely
this is the final.
This is the one. Baby, she's the one. She still turns me on. Football's coming home again.
Absolutely. The anime Dragon Ball Z. So like Goku goes to Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're at Super Saiyan 3 now.
Yeah, we're there, mate. We're there. 2
audio sources.
That's it, yeah. Bo is quaking in his boots, mate, I don't care.
Yeah, mate. So, obviously, from a Wimbledon's fan's perspective, what you thought about Ole's stewardship of Man United so far?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite sceptical in the beginning when they hired him, because, as you say, from a Wimbledon perspective, we've made that mistake a million times. We've hired like club legends,
yes, mate,
who initially do quite well.
Even the AFC.
The AFC guys more than the Wimbledon FC guys, to be fair, because we didn't really have any legends because we weren't very good before the 1980s. But like we hired Neil Ardley. To be fair, he got us promoted from League Two, but then it just went downhill. Glyn Hodges, he got sacked. Various different. Even Jason Ewell's a coach at Charlton. His name was in the hat for the job now, and thankfully we've not gone down that route again. And I think Ole's in that kind of position.
I don't mean to be negligent, but who is the manager of Wimbledon at the moment?
It's Mark Robinson, which you would have never heard of, and that's nothing to be ashamed of at all, because I'd never heard of him really either. But I had, obviously, but he was like youth team manager.
Okay. So and actually, they promoted from within, essentially.
Yeah, well, they have done. Yeah. But there was a stat the other night on the EFL show that said 25% of the managers in League One are actually called Robinson.
No way! Wow.
A little bit of a fact for you there.
A little nugget of knowledge there.
Yeah. I'll leave that with you.
Yeah. So as you were saying about Ole.
Yeah. So I think he's suffering from that a little bit. I think especially with the cluelessness of the leadership that's been going on at Man United in terms of the boardroom and the directorship.
Ed Woodward,
the Glazers. They're just trying to. I think they've done the same thing with the Ronaldo transfer, which we're coming to later.
Just papered over the cracks.
Yeah, but not in the same. I think it's going to work out well for them actually. Yeah, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So with Solskjaer, I think his record as a manager, he would have never got near the Man United job had he not been a club legend. I think that is a dangerous, slippery slope. Yeah. He clearly, for me, he's not displayed that he has either the man management skills, the tactical nous, or even when it came to like the recent fan protests that were going on, he was like historically had a background of being quite friendly with the fans and fans groups, the more militant side of everything. But then when they stormed Carrington, he gave it the absolute party line. You know, when he was like, he was, he gave it the. So I kind of feel he's not the man to take them forward. And I think that's what's going to hold them back more so than the Ronaldo transfer, which I think is a good piece of business, but we can come to that later anyway.
So me personally, from a Man United fan's perspective, when Ole obviously went on that terrific run after Mourinho basically sucked the life out of the place, it was like, I think we all started singing the songs, and Ole, you know, sort of gave us a bit of pride back, I would say, you know. But I would say you're absolutely right in your sort of like, you know, analysis of him, of being poor in game tactically. Sort of the only thing that I think he's done right is that he has really successfully ushered in a new period in United's history with the fantastic recruitment that we've done so far. And I kind of feel like he's been more of a director of football than an actual prominent top class manager. You see the effect of Chelsea were kind of maybe effing about with Frank Lampard a little bit.
That's it.
And then they got in Thomas Tuchel, and then there's a delivery there. I think United possibly need to get the nuts now to sort of say, Ole, thank you, mate. If you don't deliver this year, we've given you Varane, we've given you Ronaldo, we've given you Jadon Sancho, you've got Rashford, you've got Martial, you've got Cavani, you've got Donny van der Beek, you've got Bruno Fernandes. Shall I go on?
Not bad when you say it like that, is it?
You've got to sort of, you've got to deliver that. And I think he's got to toe the line very carefully this year, because I think there is a lot of Ole sympathisers in sort of who go, look at what he's done from where we were to where we are now.
And you can accept that
and
point.
That's a very, very good call, mate, because as I said, he's ushered in a period of relative peace.
Absolutely.
When there was a kind of, let's say, I remember when Gary Neville on Sky Sports said, I just don't like this team. I don't like them. Do you know what I mean? Like, he goes, there's no characters in there that I like. And now there is, like, you know, Sancho, you've got, you know, Rashi, you've got, do you know what I mean? There is that element of like, you have an affinity towards the boys.
That's right. More. Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And when that's missing fundamentally, I think it's quite damaging to the fan base, and the toxicity within the football environment gets.
It's perception, isn't it? And I think that's what the Glazers have done in their American franchises, whatever you want to call it. I think they own the New England Patriots, don't they? And they brought in Tom Brady. That is just literally, they've seen the Ronaldo transfer situation and they've gone, we got just Tom Brady.
Well, he nearly broke my heart, man. We'll go into Ronaldo and actually I just say,
I don't know how close that was though. Do you
reckon that was we'll do Ronaldo in a minute. Let's finish with Ole. Let's finish with Ole. So obviously, do you think Ole needs to win the title this year, or do you think he can win? Because Chelsea are obviously very strong. Man City are elite.
I don't think he does. I think he definitely needs to come second. I would say he needs to come second. He needs to be challenging. Even if, let's say, Man City win it by 10 points or Chelsea win it by 10 points, I think he'd still be okay, safe. But then the onus would be on him the next year. But I think.
So you say he's got one more season
of challenging. But for me, he didn't challenge last season.
So he's got to put this team together this year. What do you think about the football? When you watch Manchester United, like,
not very good. Last year it wasn't very good. I mean, there's players running around like headless chickens. That's the problem. You know, Pogba's being played out of position still. They expect him to do things that he shouldn't be doing. You know, Pogba is the player he is. If you play him where he should be played and you give him the task to do that he can do extremely well, you've got the France Pogba, basically. If you want him tracking back and running all over the gaff like Fred,
you're not going to get it.
Then you're going to get Fred. You know. And Fred's another one. Van den Beek hasn't had a chance.
What is going on? Rio Ferdinand recently interviewed him on his YouTube channel and was saying that, you know, asking Donny basically.
Might have done.
Was asking him basically, what do you think about, you know, your non-game time, and he's just saying Donny was being a bit corporate with it. You've got to be there for the lads and you've got to wait for your chance and this and that. But I think Ole's missed a trick there now. I mean, like this Fred and McTominay thing, I actually quite like McTominay.
I like McTominay. He's Darren Fletcher 2.0, isn't he?
Basically. And I think his partnership with Fred works in certain games, but we can't tear the arse off it and do it every time. So
and it gets easily found out when you play a Chelsea or a Man City. Oh, like immediately, just forget it.
But I think when we play Man Cities and stuff like that, it actually works because we can overrun them because they are so attacking towards us.
True.
But on a low block with Fred and McTominay, where's the creativity coming from? Behind Fernandes.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Sort of
there's a grey area all the time in that midfield. Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. So I kind of feel like Donny should come in and do that 6 role basically.
Yeah.
And Ole's got to give him some football. Otherwise, I'll just say he should do the off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Really and truly, you know, because I think it's a waste of a great talent. I can see this guy playing for Chelsea very easily.
Definitely.
I can see him playing at all the top 6 clubs.
The bottom line.
Real Madrid.
The bottom line, why is Fred ahead of him in the team? I mean, whatever you think of Fred, some people like Fred, some people don't. But he should not, Donny van Beek should not be on the bench at the expense of Fred.
No.
End of story.
At least have a run of 5 games.
Exactly.
At the very, very least.
Yeah.
You paid £40 million for the kid.
That's right.
Give him a run of games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a lot to ask for the manager because how are you going to trust somebody if you don't give them a chance to show that you can trust them? Do you know what I mean? So I think Ole's definitely got to work on that. And
wingers is actually what the thing that I think Man United are going to really improve on, because if you've got Ronaldo centre forward like everyone thinks he's going to play,
at the detriment of Mason Greenwood a little bit, obviously. But
for me, Sancho, don't care whether he's on the left or the right, he's got to be starting every game.
Yeah.
And then Lingard was amazing at West Ham last year. If he continues that form, you got a player there.
I'm actually not too disappointed that he stayed. I thought maybe go on, Jesse, for your career.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a great option, mate.
Yeah.
It's a great option.
Yeah.
Rashford, when he gets past his injuries, he will come back into
I'm
form.
glad he's gone to do it. I'm glad the club didn't stop him from doing that because he needs to come back and he needs to just be Rashford again.
Exactly.
I think it was
Greenwood on the wings would be a nightmare.
This is the thing with Ronaldo. I'm happy Ronaldo's here.
Yeah. Stick Greenwood on the wing, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it works. He's going to have to play, so it works. You know. So I think in conclusion, Ole's got to challenge.
He's got to, yeah. He's got to finish second for me.
Yeah.
He's got to, because that has proved. I think Chelsea and Man City. Their only problem is they haven't got a striker, which we know. Chelsea are just beasts, I think, this year.
I think
for me, they're the favourites.
They've gone into, this manager's taken them to a new level, really. And I mean, it's Lampard's inspired signings, really.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And I hate that when that happens.
Yeah. He's brought in Havertz, he's brought in Ziyech, he's brought in all these boys.
But Lukaku is...
Yeah, he's an animal. Yeah. He's also got a bit of love in Italy.
Yeah.
An arm round him.
Yeah.
You're brilliant.
Yeah.
Really.
That's it.
And he's taken that to Chelsea, and I think.
And that happens out there, doesn't it? Because when players have a year or so out there, they just become absolute beasts.
Well, I mean, Ashley Young actually played quite well last year.
Yeah. He was. He was unbelievable.
Doing the job for him. So I think he's come back to Watford now.
Has he?
Yeah, I think he's back.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, yeah. Troy Deeney went to Birmingham.
I've got time for Troy Deeney.
Did you see his TalkSport the other day?
I didn't see it the other day, but when he's on TalkSport, he's the most candid football player.
He's brilliant, mate.
You will get.
He's brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Him and Jose Font.
Yeah, the font of all knowledge. He's brilliant, mate, yeah.
So a little bit of a digression there, but we're going to go into the second part of the show and talk about CR7. Stay tuned. Yeah, so Matt, we'll move on the subject now to CR7's return to the Premier League, and what do you think, man? I mean, it's even though he's 36, it's huge, isn't it?
For me, it was the most exciting transfer of the window, and that's saying something in this window.
We've had basically the matrix of transfer windows.
Literally.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been like another worldly
pills flying around all over the.
And PSG, I was speaking to David actually yesterday, and I was saying that PSG obviously are going all out for the Champions League with these signings.
Yeah.
But for the French league, you don't really need to signing these. I mean.
Oh yeah, they're gonna pee it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Although Lille obviously.
Yeah, they'll have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Obviously not equal in talent, but in team spirit.
Definitely.
They did so well to win the title last year.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, CR7, man. I think as a Man United fan, I do think I'm expecting like a 20-goal season.
Yes. I think most people are. Yeah.
I don't know. The Premier League is it? Do you reckon like the Premier League is a lot different than Serie A? Obviously in hacking it though, not in terms of the football, but I mean, is the Premier League another level for him to? I mean, he dominates it in Champions League still.
Yeah.
But do you reckon he can consistently hack it every game? Because he's super fit as well.
Yeah. He can, mate. We're talking about literally the two best players ever in Messi and Ronaldo.
Both
and people are kind of forgetting that. I know he's 36, but you know he's adapted for another reason. Messi hasn't really had to adapt, but Ronaldo, his game has changed so much from when he was a kid at Man United or Sporting. He's completely. That guy is a footballing brain, and physically, he's still like a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
So, and he's like you just made the point.
When he ripped his top off the other day for the 111th.
Yeah.
It was like fucking. He's like.
It was a 28-pack, wasn't
it? It's incredible the shape he's in for the age that he is, and
that's it.
Obviously, do you know what I mean? For me, like when he left, it was so hard to sort of like him for a little while, but I knew he had to go.
It's always been hard to like him, mate. Trust me on that one. You had your rose-tinted glasses on when he was at United.
Totally. The old Portuguese winker and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I think, I think we had to stop. Like the news was coming out that he was going to Man City.
Yeah.
And
which was awful. I was upset about that.
I saw social media the United social media sphere went absolutely into meltdown. There was people making reaction videos.
Yeah.
How can you do this to us? What are you doing?
Goldbridge must have been doing his nut.
Yeah, I think the whole United spectrum shut down. And the next day, United have come in and said, "Why, you're not doing that, mate.
Yeah.
Get over here." Do you know what I mean? And we've offered them the contract, and I actually think the signing is so significant in the sense of, I think Ole needs a bit of help.
Absolutely.
I think Ole needs a bit of help. He needs a legend in there to come in and sort of get what he can't get out of these lads. And I think
that's right.
Ronaldo will probably command more respect.
100%. 100%. He's going to be like a Roy Keane in there now. I think.
Yeah.
He's going to be the manager in that dressing room. 100%. And that's the one thing they were missing. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe not the one thing, but one of the biggest things they were missing. Definitely.
Yeah.
They've missed that since the senior players like Rio and Vidic and whatever moved on. They haven't had that literally in about 6 years. Yeah. And he's going to just come in and command that straight away.
Because I mean, like, it's not even just in the way that, I mean, it's just like a popularity thing as well. It's like he's an alpha.
Yeah.
He's the alpha dog in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, you don't even need to come in and
say a word. Say a word. Yeah.
You know
he already commands that respect.
Yeah.
Like Pogba, his performances are through the roof already. I know it.
Yeah, it's the same effect that when Zlatan came in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he had that great 28-goal season.
Yeah.
Like rubbing Pogba's head and going, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like Pogba would be like, don't touch me. Do you know, someone else.
He absolutely would.
Do you know what I mean? But
anyone else came in. Yeah, he would.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's that sort of aspect of it that kind of, as a United fan, I don't give a damn what age he is. I think he's given this football club the boost it needs. And I think Ole, Carrick, you know, Kieran McKenna must be going, we could do it this year. Like, you know, honestly. Do you know
and
what
as I say, the Glazers, I think they had a big part to do with that. I know they're normally nowhere to be seen, but I think they saw that opportunity and thought, Tom Brady, Mark II.
Tom Brady FC.
It's going to get us out of this hole that we're in. But they obviously think that it's going to win the fans round, which it absolutely is not.
But it could be advantageous as well, because obviously it's going to have a good effect on Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford. Yeah. There is he takes the pressure off of them a little bit. I mean, Martial has been he's had a couple of stinkers seasons wise.
Yeah.
quality player.
55 goals, mate, for you lot. It's not bloody bad. He's been playing on the wing and off the bench for half his time.
Maybe we're being too harsh. I don't know.
I know what you mean, mate.
But I mean, I'm not like maybe not the output of goals, but I mean, sometimes you can just go like, is it because he's not getting the service? Is it because he is 2 steps ahead of the person that is going to play him the football?
Yeah.
Is he too much of a baller for Man United?
I think the thing that does him no favours is he's quite expressive as well. Like when he's having a stinker or if he's not happy about something, it's written all over his face.
You know what I mean? And
that was quite good actually.
Yeah, the melody was absolutely banging. I think that's going to have to be a staple for the show. But I think we've digressed away from Ronaldo slightly onto Martial. Let's get back to Ronaldo.
Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right.
Yeah. So CR7, will he, as a surmisation?
Yeah.
What are you expecting from him?
I think for me, what I'm expecting is I think I'm fully within my rights to expect 20 goals this season from Ronaldo. I'm definitely not expecting Real Madrid ridiculousness of 40 goals a season.
Because he can only play CF now, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as you've said, the thing that he's going to do is just galvanise that whole team. They're all going to be up for it this year. Which
standards, as Roy Keane says.
Standards will be through the roof for the first time in a long time.
He's the kind of guy that if you're lacking a little bit, come on, mate. Come on.
That's it.
Come on.
Yeah. You've seen him have a go at Danny Carvajal many times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he darts him up in it. Darts him up many a time, mate.
That's it.
Yeah. That saucy little look that.
Yes.
Governor.
Basically.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah. And he's got that clout already, I think, being a Man United legend. He's basically English now, even though he hasn't been in England forever. Do you know what I mean? He was raised by Alex Ferguson.
To be fair, we were still sort of saying he's one of us when he wasn't playing for us.
Do you
know what I mean? Because he was that much.
And that's why the Man City rumour was I think devastating.
But
even for non-Man United fans, I was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, how can you do it?
You can't do that. Like Tevez, you can let it slide.
The thing is, like, with Tevez, the way they PR'd it was disgusting. Like, to Manchester.
Well, Kia Jarabschan was all over it, wasn't
it? Yeah, and like,
Corinthians got a £9 million
I ultimately do blame the club a little bit because we should have just given Tevez the contract. I don't know what was wrong.
Yeah. No, it was stupid, We
will go back into that.
Again, the Glazers probably at fault.
Before we end the Ronaldo segment, I want to say that on this channel, we're definitely going to reboot the old 90s football vibe again because I think now it's just me and you. We can sort of really go back into...
we can go to town on that.
Yeah,
Get all the Eggleston stads out.
I want to do a talk with you soon as well about Wimbledon and sort of how the club turned into AFC Wimbledon. I think we can regurgitate that and sort of talk about that as well because we've had many disagreements. Well, not many, but I think we had we're not even volatile.
No.
But a drunken fuel argument about it one time.
Yeah, voices got raised. And, drinks got spilled very slightly.
I'd like to bring it to the public. My views are completely changed. You've definitely convinced me.
Yeah.
I think the crux of it was I was saying that you should still support.
Yeah.
Milton Keynes, which I'll probably be shot now for saying that online.
Yeah.
But because Milton Keynes were obviously the original.
That's it.
Team
Entity.
still.
Yeah.
But obviously, so we'll get into that in
a Super League later, and I think things have changed.
As Malcolm X says, chickens have come into roost.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You went on Hajj and came back, and your mind was completely.
Absolutely. I went on the pilgrimage, mate, and met many African delegates, and I am privy to your thinking. But I want to just throw that in. We're going to go into the next segment, which is Mikel Arteta. See you in a bit. Right, Matt. So let's have a talk about Mikel Arteta and Arsenal and obviously the state they find themselves in, mate. As a United fan, I should probably take a lot of pleasure from the situation. But I don't really. I kind of feel like it's kind of an institution that Man United used to be at loggerheads with for so many years that it just
in an epic
kind
time.
of just like the administration's messed it up. And like, I don't know. I should be gloating, but I'm not.
I know what you mean, mate. You like to see legendary rivalries, and that was one of them. and now you just feel that it's got to the point where they're not even in the same league as Man United.
They're like a top, because United haven't really been cutting up trees, do you know what I mean?
No.
But they're like, Arsenal have literally kind of turned themselves into maybe like a top 10 team.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, you feel that now.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's going to take a little while to sort of get this sort of new nucleus of young players to be competitive.
Yeah.
As in sort of where Chelsea are, because I've kind of see Chelsea and Man City as standard bearers now.
Yeah.
United possibly, some people disagree with the signings that we've made this year, but are just a little bit, we're a manager away from being where City and Chelsea are.
I think so,
And possibly, Arsenal are a manager away from being back in contention.
For the Champions League, for the fourth spot, which they used to get regularly. Do you know what I mean?
Would you just cut your losses now with Arteta and just get Antonio Conte in, or if he wants to come? Or?
I'm not sure Conte would be the solution. I think he because I just said there that they're a manager away, but I don't think they are actually. I think that's what you were getting at. They're probably a manager away from being six, really.
Yeah.
And if they bring Conte in, I think at the end of the day, he can only work with what he's got, and there isn't much there. I think youth-wise, obviously they have got a couple of gems.
They always bring through youth. Yeah.
And they've got a couple of gems with Sacco particularly and Smith Rowe. But it's just the same old problems, isn't it? Really, with them. Defence is absolutely poor. No leadership in the team whatsoever. Least of all from Arteta.
Yes.
The only player that could give a bit of leadership, I don't think he's answering it at the moment. Aubameyang, maybe. Anywhere else.
But he seems to be a player that kind of gets. He vibes on vibes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when everything's sweet, he'll be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's it.
When everything's going wrong, he'll be 5.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And Lacazette seems that way.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey's been injured all the time, so you can't really
judge him too much.
Granit Xhaka, they should have just got rid of him. Really, what a disaster!
Terrible,
really,
terrible. Pepe as well, inconsistent as anything.
Yeah, but a good player in there as well.
Definitely.
I mean, but there's been 2 managers that have come in.
Yeah, Ozil was an absolute, anomaly there for years on end, and it's like if you don't invest in the team, they don't have. An ownership that will invest in the team, that is willing to invest in the team. I mean, the difference between Arsenal and Man United, particularly, they've both got contemptible ownership. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But the Glazers will pump money in, but then do it off the back of Man United's debt. Whereas Kroenke won't even do that.
Yeah.
As far as he's concerned, it's his pocket.
Yeah.
And he wants to make the money out of it.
Yeah.
He's not putting anyone in debt, which from a club perspective, I think he's better than the Glazers, personally. From an on-the-pitch scenario, you'd rather be Man United.
The Glazers are spineless, definitely. There's no doubt about it.
They know they've got their
They're all
runnings
venture
to keep
capitalists.
Up with. Yeah.
They're all vultures in that sense.
But they've tried to spend the money, they've just not spent it wisely.
Right.
From Arsenal's point of view, they've not spent any money. And when they have spent money, it's been atrocious. Yeah. And when they have made signings, they've been atrocious.
But I mean, United were doing a similar thing after Ferguson left with David Moyes and with Louis van Gaal and that sort of thing, being a bit frivolous in the market and not actually building an identity.
Yeah.
But buying names. Yeah. And obviously the names that come through the door, like Falcao's, the Schweinsteigers.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic's, Pogba's. But it doesn't bring you back
to where you need to be.
No. And maybe after what Edu said the other day, where they're actually trying to bring back an under-23 youth core again, maybe that might be where Arsenal need to go. I don't know. But I mean, it's like...
But that's what they had already with Wenger.
Yeah.
And from a fan's perspective, I mean, I'm not saying all fans felt this way. Some wanted him out, some didn't. Some were kind of like, I would like a change of manager, but they weren't disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
But I feel that the way he was kind of embarrassingly hounded out of the club.
Yeah.
That.
I think chickens are coming to roost on that as well.
Basically.
Definitely, because I mean, a lot of fans were sort of saying, I found it disrespectful, but you couldn't really tell them anything because it's their club. So I'm like, all right, governors, do you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
But when I look at it and I go, I mean, it's not really gone well 3 managers later.
No.
And a lot of people said that, and then obviously there's been a lot. I mean, when Brendan Rodgers was at Celtic, I thought they should have went and got him.
Yeah.
But it was like, no, he ain't ready. Like, look what he done at Liverpool, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I mean, look what he's done at Leicester. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So these opportunities seem to pass Arsenal by because there is a bit of a big club mentality still there within the fans and within the infrastructure.
Definitely. But I feel they don't hold that weight to sign players. That's
the problem. No, they don't.
Even if
who
Kroenke,
wants to go to, who would is Lukaku going to Arsenal?
No,
is
not in a million
Ronaldo
years.
Considering it?
No. Like you say, there's not even a nucleus there where you can look at Man United and you can go, right, well, they've got Pogba, they've got Cavani, they've got all these players. You think, and they're Man United. Do you know what I mean? That mystique has not gone from them.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas I feel like with Arsenal, you look at it and you go,
it's gone. It's gone.
You know, the mystique's kind of gone. You look at it and you go, well, Henry's not there and Vieira's not there, so why would I want to go?
Yeah. And the longer and longer it goes, the less memories that these new generation of fans will have of Henry and Vieira and stuff like that as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like the Pallisters and the Bruces and stuff like that. They're not. Do you know what I mean? It just moves on.
Of course it moves on. And I feel like, Arsenal have lost that, whereas the other clubs haven't as much.
Yeah.
You know, they've still got that kind of mystique and recent history behind them.
I mean, Arsenal have won the odd FA Cup here and there and sort of obviously consistently finished, apart from maybe a couple of seasons when Wenger, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But you look at the sort of like the way the Premier League is now and how, Wolverhampton Wanderers are really kind of strong and play good football, although they haven't really got whatever. There's Tottenham Hotspur now, Everton,
West Ham
are miraculously there and thereabouts at the moment. So there is the top four, and then there's
a lot of strong middle teams.
Yeah. I mean, Leeds can have a game. I'm not saying they might finish in that thing, but it is a very competitive league, and Arsenal, I think, maybe have to sacrifice a low finish for a couple of years to get where they want to be, and that's maybe not the worst thing to do. I don't know.
No, you do have to rebuild sometimes. That is true, and football fans do forget that pre-Premier League, this used to happen all the time. Man United were absolutely awful in the 80s.
Ron Atkinson,
and Chelsea, were a team that I used to like as a kid, but they were quite.
That Chelsea team I loved,
definitely, but they were nowhere near.
I'm sure even hardcore Chelsea fans would still say they loved that team on this team.
I'm sure they would.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there's pre and post Abramovich, really.
Pre and post Drog.
But like Arteta, man, I think the consensus for me is that I think Arsenal do need another manager. The point is, who is going to be out there? Antonio Conte is being obviously thrown out there.
Yeah.
Is that structure okay for him with what he did at Chelsea?
The wrong choice, I think it would be from Arsenal's point of view.
Yeah.
I think it'd come in and jivvy him up a bit. But
I think somebody like Bielsa would be.
But Bielsa's got a long-term mentality. But the problem is, do Arsenal fans have the stamina for a couple of awful seasons with the right coach?
Yeah. Right, so to sort of bring the podcast to a close, which has been a great first podcast as far as I'm concerned, Matt. I think we're definitely, above my expectations. But we'll talk about Gareth Southgate in England to sort of bring it to a close. You still hurting from the final?
I mean, a little bit, obviously. But
or more the societal effect of what he did?
That hurt me a lot more, that side of things. I mean, it brought it back as well, like little things. Even I don't know if you saw it in the friendly. I think it was against Andorra where they had like a sort of banner for Xhaka and Sancho and Rashford, and there was the memorial in Manchester that kind of got those lovely messages put on it, things like that. So, no, that brought me round a lot, to be honest, and it showed you that all the trolls that initially are there. It made me realise it's more to do with
the just stupidity.
Idiots on internet and social media, really.
Because I think there was one quite poignant thing with the sort of hungry fans the other day that booed the kneeling, and then obviously, but throughout the match we're doing the monkey comments and stuff like that, and so it was just disgusting stuff. But I think the pertinent thing within that is that England can't really say nothing when our house isn't in order as well, and I think that was one thing, but it was disgusting to see, obviously, and I don't really think that I don't know. I just kind of thought to myself that it's easy to condemn that.
Yeah.
But we need to be hard on ourselves as well. I think that's what I'm basically saying.
No, definitely. And even
you're
right to say that, because even it happened again with Burnley where they took the knee, and then Bentley was like, I don't really understand what you don't get. We've told you many times.
Yeah.
This is about,
But is it though? And I mean, this is probably a different podcast, so I don't want to go too far. Too far.
If the players are saying that's what it is, and there's no Black Lives Matter t-shirt. I get the point of some people don't agree with the political element of Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's a loaded statement saying Black Lives Matter, because how can you disagree with it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like me starting a political party and saying, I love kittens. You can't really disagree with it, but it doesn't mean the content of what I'm going to deliver you should agree with. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
There might be a little line in there to say, well, I'm going to blow up the Falklands or something.
Absolutely,
By the way,
subliminal sort of thing. Yeah.
So I get that point of view, but Ben Mee was like, look, I don't understand what you.
I'm actually fucking tired of saying this now.
Exactly. And the England players have said it, Gareth Southgate said it is about.
So I mean, for instance, we're moving into a different territory here, but I want to carry on. What do we do? Should there be another symbolism then? Would people be happy with another symbolism?
Well,
if that is so irksome to people, they don't want to get it.
No, I think it's. Don't get me wrong. I think it is people's ignorance towards it and antipathy towards it, because, like I said, they're taking the knee. That's not Black Lives Matter. No one's wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt.
Sure, there's no affiliation to it.
The players have got together and we have said this is about
what we want
social justice, and this is what we are saying.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with politics.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'd have a different opinion. Like the Premier League, Black Lives Matter on the sleeve. I thought that was utter nonsense.
Yeah.
Because the Premier League, a company that are essentially the Lord Voldemort of football, are taking credit. It's like HSBC sort of saying, and wearing that on their banks.
Absolutely,
it's like, come on,
it's a piss take. It's slap me in the face with a fish.
Rubbish.
Yeah,
it's absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
So that I can understand, but the players have made it clear what they're standing for, and there
should be no argument to it.
Unless you're trying to deliberately
antagonise.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a podcast another day. I think we will explore that. And I had an interesting talk with my brother Leroy, so I'm sure he'd like to be involved in that discussion. So, but back onto England and stuff like that. I still feel a little bit of pain after that result. I thought we could have had it if we, again, I think it's been a recurring topic during this podcast, if we'd only had a manager more adaptable or tactical. But I can't mock him, and I can't say anything wrong, because, I mean, he's the first manager to get us to any final.
That's right.
We've had managers like Terry Venables, the great Sir Bobby Robson.
That's right.
And Gareth, I was going to call him Sir, but I'm not going to quite do it. But Gareth Southgate did it. So I can't. It almost negates you sort of like talking about his insufficiencies as a manager.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
I was the first to be jumping on that bandwagon when we lost it. I was like, oh, he did this wrong. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done this. But you actually look at it factually.
Yeah.
And when Luke Shaw scored that goal, we literally nearly won the Euros.
Quids in, mate. Quids in. You couldn't have stopped me from thinking that was it.
We've never been that close since Alf Ramsey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. So there is an achievement there, and he does deserve to try again and take this team. Like, for instance, like I'm saying that I think Gareth Southgate will end his tenure after this World Cup. I don't think he's going to carry on after.
No, I agree.
But I think there is a comparison towards. How people think of Gareth Southgate and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as managers that are great in breeding a culture.
Yes.
But lack the in-game management skills to effectively manage. Because I think Mancini kind of bossed him.
Yeah.
In the second half and stuff like that sort of thing. So,
and even some of them players, mate, are managers. Do you know what I mean?
Chiellini and Bonucci. They bullied that.
For me, if Chiellini hadn't done what he did with Sacco.
That was Liberty's though, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm still hurt by it. Yeah.
If he hadn't done that, we would have come back. Do you know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah. There was moments in that game, wasn't there? And you could see the inefficiencies, but I probably want to move on from the game because it's actually just the memories are coming back.
I can Nessun Dorma in my
and then fantastic blue suits that the lads were wearing. But going on to the World Cup, have you got much optimism about it?
I have actually.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
Do you reckon we could at least replicate a semi-final?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. I think they got the same chance as they did in the Euros. Some people say it was quite an easy group and whatnot, but I think the team is more together than it's ever been.
Yeah,
definitely from that point of view, and there is talent there, and we're talking about another year of Jude Bellingham. Playing in the Bundesliga, you're talking about the first year of Sancho at United.
Saka,
You're talking about players that really are going to come on leaps and bounds. Jack Grealish,
first
time at an unbelievable
team
playing in that team. So I think
now that he's moved to Man City, Gareth Southgate can't drop him now.
Oh yeah,
he's elite now. Like like he's at one of the clubs where he's irrefutably a starter now for England. And I actually like that because I didn't like the way we used him in the Euros at all, really. Like as some kind of utility player, you start Jack Grealish, and I think maybe Gareth's leaving that for now. Maybe we're going to see that now, so I'm going to leave that optimism there. But as for the qualifiers, I think we've got Poland tomorrow. I think we did quite well, against Andorra with 2-4-0s, but we usually shit them really in the qualifiers.
Nothing, I'll be honest, Hungary's not a bad team, mate.
They did their bollocks in the Euros. They really did. They took some big teams to the sword. So
got some good players, and their keeper had a bit of a mare. He's actually a good keeper.
I really like Leipzig keeper.
That's it. Leipzig, and they got Szoboszlai
and Orban and Slabazai or something like that.
Szoboszlai.
So there's a decent spine in there, but we should a 4-0 was definitely good, and I think not really out first gear really. Like, do you know what I mean? In both games.
Yeah.
It's good to see Gareth rotate the team.
Yeah.
And play a completely different team. Bamford didn't really do anything for me.
No, I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the World Cup.
No. But it puzzles me that he's picked Bamford over Greenwood, though. Yeah. But there must be some politics there with that Iceland thing still.
He's a bit funny, though, Southgate, with his selections, though, isn't he? Because he loves Lingard, he loves Rashford.
Yeah.
And Rashford has been on awful form.
Yeah.
Didn't take Lingard to the World Cup, did he?
No.
Like, Lingard was a stalwart in the England team before he went on a bit of bad form with United and before the loan happened with West Ham. But he had a great run on the loan with West Ham and he didn't include him in the squad. A bit funny. He is. I think he goes with feeling rather than the general consensus. So, I mean, but I wish him all the best of luck, and I think England, we'll definitely, I think we'll get a win over Poland tomorrow, but they've got obviously the dangerous Lewandowski and co. But I think a comfortable 2-0 win tomorrow for England. And I think we're going to end the podcast there. It's been emotional. Thanks, mate.
It's been great, we'll be doing these. We'll do this show on a weekly.
Yeah.
And obviously we can do some remote stuff on StreamYard and stuff like that. You can off from home and stuff like that. Yeah. But we'll keep the content rocking. And I thoroughly enjoyed your company today, Matthew.
It's brilliant, mate.
Please like and subscribe to the channel, and if you like what you saw, stay tuned for more. Take care. Wicked.